Hi traders, Monday here from High Performance Trading. Well, if I look a little tired, it's because I've been trading all night. I'm really feeling a little jet lagged, but it was definitely worth it. And I can always have an afternoon nap and then get ready for the next session. That's the advantage of living in Australia. Now, I just received an email from a trader I've been working with, not so much, like 2 or 3 times over the last 2 months. And I wanted to share these insights because it's just so good. Now, he is usually a phenomenal trader. He's the dream. Everybody talks about wanting to be consistently profitable. That's him. He's very solid, grounded, a really good performer. But what happened was that a few months ago, there were a few disagreements within the family. And I mean, everybody knows how family can push our buttons, right? And this is what happened. His buttons got really pushed, anxiety got triggered, uncertainty, and even fear. And that was translating into his trading, right? His decisions were starting to get subpar. He started showing a little bit of impulsive trading where he jumped into trades, not waiting for a setup to complete, but trying to front run the market out of fear of missing out. And so it was really interesting because he hasn't really had that experience before. As I said, he's a very solid, grounded performer. And so we were doing some work on past experiences that had to be healed, right? The triggers. And as we healed the triggers, his trading started to improve again. And he just emailed me this morning saying that he had his best trading week ever. And I'm not surprised, guys, because what happens is when we have those people pushing our buttons, it's not the people. Like the buttons, the wounds are within us. And so it's not their responsibility to stop pushing our buttons. It's us having to heal our wounds. And that's what we did with this particular trader. And the more we heal those wounds, the more the internal conflict was resolved and relieved and released, and the less compulsive and impulsive he felt, and he could focus on his methodology and making really good trading decisions, right? I just love the story so much because it shows how important mindset work is. Again, if you know how to trade and still don't do what you know, it's solely mindset. If you are not clear about your exits and entries, well, then you have to do skill set work as well. Now, I had a similar experience. As you guys know, I'm currently working with an osteo to get my body healed and back in shape. And I'm just so amazed at the work we are doing together. Now, my left shoulder was the one that had an injury about 12 years ago. And he's been working on this. But last session, he started working on my right shoulder. He said, we have to open up your right shoulder. And as he was working on my shoulder, oh man, wow, this flood of emotions came in. And poor guy, he copped the brunt of my emotional inner upheaval. But, he's a true professional. He dealt with it beautifully and just held the space for me, venting. Again, I didn't know where that came from. But what that was, and he explained to me that was trauma that was held in my shoulder, because trauma is not only held in our mind, in our memory, it's also held in our body. I mean, we all know the book, The Body Keeps Score. And I knew about the book, and I thought I had done all the work. I had done, coaching around this event, have worked with my kinesiologist on this event, and yet there was one more level. And after this session, I just felt so free, and I was actually able to run double the time that I usually run. So again, it's so fascinating how events can impact our body. Now, there's also a big misunderstanding. It's actually not the event that is the trauma. It is our body and mind, or us thinking that we can't deal with the trauma. We don't know how to deal with the trauma. And that is what causes the emotional upheaval and the trigger wounds. So that's also why same people can have the same event. Two people can have the same event. One person goes into post-traumatic stress, they can't deal with it, and they start playing really small, never reach their potential. And another person goes into post-traumatic growth. They're like screw this. Because of this event, I need to make sure that I'm capable, that I'm strong, that, that I can't be vulnerable, and they become phenomenal at, at their work, at trading. So, and the dysfunction will show up in other areas of life, like maybe relationships. So there's always something to work on. Now, I hope this little insight was useful for you guys. And as I said, when you have trigger wounds and emotional upheaval that shows in your relationship with your loved ones, that will flow through into your trading. And the opposite is also true when you have healed those wounds, and and you know that you have healed those wounds when whatever the other person says doesn't trigger you anymore. It's like, yeah, whatever, your shit to deal with. Then you have healed. And that will also show in your trading that you have clarity of mind, you have focus, you have confidence, and you can make really good trading decisions even in the heat of the moment. I hope this has been useful, and I wish you an amazing week ahead.